All right, before the break, I told you the story about two Dutch women who went missing in Panama in 2014. Their disappearance revealed more than 50 cases of missing women and girls in the area. The mystery is the subject of a new hit podcast called Lost in Panama. And joining me now is the host of that podcast, Ana Atencio. She's a former MSNBC correspondent, a Peabody Award-winning journalist, and the founder of Go Like. Great to see you, friend.
Alex,
in person. It's been a long time
to be back on this network.
Many of our viewers will remember Mariana and I covering hurricanes together for a long time. This story happened in 2014. NBC did report on it, and then it sort of went away. It was done. Why did you go back to it?
When I heard about the story, I just couldn't turn away. First of all, it's the classic tale of young girl gets lost in the woods. And the rumor mill was saying everything from they were eaten by wild animals to both of them fell off a cliff. I personally, as a 23-year-old in Venezuela, where I'm from, got assaulted on a hike. These two girls went missing on a hike. So I knew what it was like to be a woman alone in the woods, assaulted by a man in that part of the world. And there was something that just drew me to that story where I said, I have to go find out what happened to them. And as a journalist, getting on the ground and getting close to uncovering the truth, also pushing the authorities to try to reopen this case was something incredibly gratifying for me. When
you say pushing the authorities, sometimes just the presence of a journalist covering their story gets you more, because most people just assume some of these stories die their own death and no one will ever bother.
And it just didn't make any sense. How can two of them vanished completely? So few body remains were found, and then a backpack was found with all these delicate electronics. Things just didn't make sense. And as you and I have talked about, when that happens as a journalist, there's nothing like boots on the ground. There's nothing like getting to the scene and seeing it for yourself and talking to people. And as you say, the presence of a journalist, especially an international journalist in this case, exerts the right kind of pressure.
So I don't want to give away the whole podcast so that people can watch it, but the thing that you uncovered, and did you know this going into it, that there were dozens of other women who had disappeared, of which for whom there was no coverage? I
honestly had no idea. Over 50 cases of local missing women and girls in this 40-mile corridor of Panama. So we're talking about an area that is not El Salvador, it's not Honduras, it's not known for its massive violence. This is a place of expats and tourists. So being able to shed light on that, talking about the case of a woman like Stephanie Rodriguez, who not only was killed while we were conducting this investigation, her body was left in a dumpster alley. I interviewed her husband, who he was so afraid to speak up. We had to interview him in a car, in a parking garage, as he was clutching on to her photograph. That is how scared people are locally to talk about cases of femicide.
So here's the distinction. It's something we often talk about as missing white woman syndrome, right? These locals don't get any coverage. They were mostly women of color.
Absolutely. Women like the Stephanie Rodriguez's of the world don't get the media attention. And the fact that you're allowing me to talk about them on your show is amazing. 1 in 3 women in Latin America and the Caribbean will experience some sort of gender-based violence.
1 in 3.
In their lifetime, just for being women. I think in this case, one of the most shocking things for me as well in the Kramer-Sprune case was the fact that these women were dismissed as victims in the beginning because these were sources telling me, oh, they were probably out partying, they woke up in some boy's house. So precious time was lost in the search. The initial 48 hours, which, as you know, is critical because they were women. And you ask people involved in the search, if they had been men, would it have been the same? And they're like, absolutely not.
You mentioned the term femicide. It's not actually a term with which Americans are familiar as a crime, because it's not an enumerated crime in many places in the United States. Tell me about that, because in Latin America and other parts of the world, including the Middle East, this is a very prominent way that women are attacked and killed.
Absolutely. Here in the United States, maybe they're simply labeled a homicide. There's not that additional kind of tier because it's based on the fact that they were women. And in Latin America, this has sometimes been called the silent pandemic because of how many women it does affect. I am honored that I'll be going actually to Washington, D.C. with members of the administration and authorities of Central America based on this investigation Lost in Panama to talk about this issue and how does it affect women in the United States. If they're considered as victims, if they're dismissed, if there's additional violence. It's almost like a hate crime, but, you know, the reason
we have the same problem with hate crimes in the United States. We tend to be resistant to call them what they are. We'd like to just think it's bad people doing doing things to good people. There's an element of this that in Latin America they're starting to realize is specific.
And been realizing it for a long time now, especially in countries like Mexico. We're seeing the case of the American Shanquella Robinson now. Prosecutors are searching for that potential person who assaulted her on charges of femicide, because unfortunately, that's the other thing. It affects women of color so much more than white women.
Thank you for doing this. We appreciate that you're covering this with its specific angle. We'll continue this conversation. Mariana, good to see you as always.
Thank you so much, Ali.
Mariana Atencio is my former colleague here at MSNBC, but more importantly, she's the host of the new hit podcast, Lost in Panama. Check it out, listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes drop every Monday.